Hello there. Welcome to Tech Trends with me, Olayemi Odunuga. On this week's show, P2Vest Technologies, a peer-to-peer lending platform, is changing the system of borrowing and lending money. And then later on the program, I talked to Ayotunde Koka, the CEO of Open Access Data Centers, to discuss the importance of data centers and why we need to invest more in the infrastructure. As always, this is the program that takes you on a ride in 25 minutes to seek out innovation and creativity that are unique to Africa. The threat landscape continues to expand, while cyber threats are continually becoming more sophisticated. This has convinced organizations to expand their security policies and deploy more security solutions. A peer-to-peer lending platform, P2Vest Technologies, is promoting financial inclusion by transforming the way people access credit and lend money. Using artificial intelligence as part of the credit score algorithm, the startup built a marketplace to help people take control of their debt, grow their businesses, and invest for the future. Meet Austin Abolusoro, a Nigerian entrepreneur trying to bridge the financial inclusion gap in the lending and borrowing space using a digital lending platform called P2Vest Technologies Limited. In 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown, Austin, with his co-founder Samuel, was inspired to start up the company to change the way people access credit and lend money using technology.
I have worked in the bank and I have seen a lot of people face problems with accessing credit, and I've seen a lot of things happening already in the technology sector where a number of fintechs are also offering credit. But then I was looking at how to offer credits in a more unique way. And so we decided to set up a platform for peer-to-peer lending.
P2Vest is a digital peer-to-peer financial service platform that not only offers lending solutions, but also insurance services. The tech startup wants to make it easy for individuals to access loans and take control of their debt by bringing both parties together on one platform.
We started with offering a lending platform that allows people who need money to come, those are borrowers, to come to our platform, and then those who have money to bring their fund to our platform, and then they can transact. So that's the seamless way and the ease of doing it wasn't existing the way we saw it. We wanted to provide an option for people instead of going to regulated lenders or banks or microfinance organizations. You could actually borrow money from individuals directly and get paid to pay that person without necessarily knowing the person. A platform just offering that. We give that power to the lender. They make the decision. We don't make the decision on their behalf. What we do is we take information, we take the data of the borrower, we score the borrower, we apply different kind of algorithms, and then we come up with a score and tell the lender this is the score of this borrower, and then we actually provide the profile of the borrower to the lender.
But before the transaction gets to that stage, both the borrower and the lender go through multiple checks in a verification system.
This is all technology driven, all right? As we say, we have kind of scoring algorithm which we continue to improve. We check BVN of the borrower, we do address verification, we check the kind of accounts they are presenting, and then we analyze the earnings, the financial data that they provide to us. We somehow also get their data from the banks and analyze it. We look at their average daily balances, their monthly earnings, the regular earnings that they have. Based on all that, we come up with a score. We look at is this person as the person, we check credit bureau also. Is this borrower, is it the kind of person that have been borrowing from other people and not paying back? Based on all this information, we make a decision whether you even proceed to get your data to a lender or not.
The COVID-19 pandemic placed a number of startups on the edge, presenting difficult times for their businesses. But for the P2Vest team, the outbreak gave them a nudge.
Starting a business at the COVID time was like a no-no, or was like, a wrong idea. But, today looking back, you find that there are so many businesses that started around that time and are doing very well today, especially technology-driven business. For us, it was an advantage, it was an opportunity because there was no movement and we were starting a technology business that we need some time to actually develop this platform, because everything we did by ourselves, we developed the app by ourselves. We assembled a team, even though most of us were working remotely with each other, but it gave us that time. There was no point of people are just roaming around the street. People were just sitting in their houses, and then there was enough time to really work. And we come online every day or every other day to review where we were on the project. I think the COVID actually helped us to achieve more mileage in terms of the speed of delivery compared to if it was a time where there was high level of activities and people are engaged in so many things, and then we may not have even achieved as much in terms of the speed. So at that moment, we were able to just engage and fully dedicate our time on developing the app. And then by the time it was ready, we launched September 2020. Especially September 15, 2020, after we've gone through different levels of testing with friends or families and different people, then we launched it to the public.
Even though one major problem the startup is still grappling with is how to compel defaulters to pay back their loans without any hassle, they say they remain committed to helping people take control of their debt, grow their businesses, and invest for the future.
Tech tips. How to shift your WhatsApp chats, images, and videos from old to new number without losing data. WhatsApp makes it easy to transfer your chat history, images, and videos to a new number without losing data. Here's a simple step-by-step guide to change your WhatsApp number and inform your contacts, or create a local backup if changing both phone and SIM card. To change phone number on WhatsApp, Step 1. Open WhatsApp on your old phone. Step 2. Navigate to Settings. On Android devices, tap the 3 vertical dots on the top right corner. For iPhone users, Settings is located at the bottom right corner. Step 3. Tap Account and then Change Number. Step 4. Review the information on the screen. It essentially confirms that changing your number will migrate your account details, charts, and settings. Tap Next and enter both your old and new phone numbers. Double check for accuracy. Choose how you want to notify your contacts. WhatsApp offers 3 options. All contacts, everyone in your address book will be informed. Contacts you have chats with. This means only those you've exchanged messages with will be notified. Or Custom, you can manually select specific contacts you want to be informed. Tap Done to initiate the transfer process. Before starting the process, do note that this inbuilt feature works best if you keep the same phone. If you're switching phones entirely, you will need to create a local backup on your old phone, and here's how to do that. Open WhatsApp and navigate to Settings. Tap on Chats and then select Chat Backup. Choose the frequency of backups. You can opt for daily, weekly, or manual backups. Decide whether to include videos in the backup. Tap Backup to start the process. Your chats will be saved to your phone's storage. To the basics. Did you know people blink less when they use computers? Humans normally blink about 20 times in 1 minute. However, studies show people on computers and other digital screen devices only blink about 5 to 7 times in a minute. Blinking is the eye's way of getting the moisture it needs on its surface to prevent dryness and irritation. When individuals are engrossed in computer tasks such as reading, typing, or gaming, they tend to blink less frequently than usual. This reduced blinking can lead to dryness and discomfort in the eyes due to inadequate moisture distribution, ultimately contributing to eye strain and fatigue. The decrease in blinking is believed to be related to the prolonged fixation on the screen and the reduced need for eye movements, which are necessary for stimulating regular blinking. To alleviate the effects of reduced blinking during computer use, experts recommend practicing the 20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look away from the screen at something 20 feet away for at least 20 seconds. This technique helps relax the eye muscles and encourages natural blinking, preventing discomfort and potential long-term eye issues associated with excessive screen time. What is the programming language developed by James Gosling at Sun Microsystems and named after the type of coffee from Indonesia? Green, C/C++, Java, Python. The answer is Java. What startup acquired by Facebook for $1 billion in 2012 became the fourth most downloaded app in the 2010s and is known for the posting of pictures? Twitter, MySpace, 2Go, Instagram. Of course you know it's Instagram. In 1999, Shigetaka Kurita invented what keyboard additions for cell phones that would eventually replace emoticons and even get their own movie. Icons, emojis, images, Winky. The answer is emojis. Dolly the Ew's birth in 1996 and subsequent life helped prove the viability of what scientific and technological process? Cloning, reproduction, prototype, origination. The answer is cloning.
As we depend more on the internet and cloud services, having strong data centers helps keep everything running smoothly, protects our information, and supports the growth of new ideas and businesses. With Nigeria's rapidly expanding digital economy, better data centers will help meet the demand for reliable and secure online services and make the country more competitive while boosting overall development. Ayotunde Koka, the CEO of Open Access Data Centers, joins me to discuss the importance of data centers and why we need to invest more in the infrastructure as a country. Let's start with the basics here. Why are data centers so important?
Well, our lives are very much run by our phones, computers, digital, everything these days. And these things sit on computers somewhere. Those computers sit in a data center, huge computers in some cases. They generate also heat, so they have to be cooled down, the right temperature, the right humidity. They need a lot of interconnection, so you can access the information they hold, and so on. So where they sit is actually data centers. They're very sophisticated infrastructure to keep the computers running. They depend on a lot of constant power. If not, the environment might be such that the computers go down. And could you imagine, even here, the stuff that we're running and the broadcast you have, the computers that run it and make it possible sit in a data center somewhere. And they come in lots of different sizes and scale as well, and are located in different parts of the world. But typically, the closer a data center is to you, the closer the performance and the interaction is of the applications and everything else you use that are hosted in the data center.
And how would you say the demand for data centers in the country has evolved over the past few years?
It's evolving in here progressively larger. 10 years ago, there were very few data centers. Proper data centers. If I use the analogy of a hotel, you could have a house somewhere that's just, of a high quality hotel, or you can have a 4-star properly built dedicated hotel or 5-star hotel. So we've been having the sort of advent of proper certified high quality data centers here for the last 12 years or so, when you had just a handful, mostly based in Lagos, of those large high quality ones. Now there are many more data centers, and it's an indication of the growth of the demand for digital technology locally around Lagos. But you now have some other data centers in Abuja, for instance, some Kano, that are really properly certified high quality data centers. As people use more digital technology, some in what's called the cloud, might be TikTok, Facebook, WhatsApp. So the demand for that, all our banking applications, the banking apps, for the financial transactions, some of them called fintech, so on. The demand has grown significantly. Of course, once that happens, it demands more demand for power, for computing capacity, and that means therefore you need to increase the size of data centers. It becomes a lot more critical as well that for the availability of these data centers. So they become increasingly critical in our everyday lives. Everything we do, connectivity, the telco, the phone, everything sits in a data center somewhere to run our digital lives.
Now, talking about numbers, right? We have about 11 data centers already established across the country. Are they enough, especially in terms of capacity?
No. So when you say 11 data centers, around about 11, perhaps a bit more, that of the high quality ones that are certified, the certification uses tiers. Tiers 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's the global certification. It'd be like 4-star, 5-star hotels and so on. So you're talking about the top tier 3 or tier 4 data centers. You have many, many other data centers where some businesses will have, what they would call server rooms, around the place. But those high tier data centers are critical for high availability. And we're getting many, many more, existing brands expanding. Open access data centers, for instance, we have a facility in Lagos. It's our flagship facility. We have data centers across Africa. This is also where it key on the sea cable into the country, like the Google Equiano land, for instance. Mm-hmm. We're building it at scale and on a land location that is the largest data center campus in West Africa. We use terms power as a way to describe the scale of a data center because of the kind of power they consume. So megawatts, megawatt data center is, critical size data center, for instance. We're now seeing more higher capacity data centers being built across Lagos. OADC, we're going up to 24 megawatts where we are. We've got Lane 1, that's been one of the longer brands here as well. Rack Center, 21st Century, Galaxy Backbone in Abuja. So the increasing number of data centers that are very, very high scale. And we've also had more international entrants. You might have heard the global company Equinix having acquired Main1.
Yes.
Another one, which is Digital Realty, having acquired another company called Medallion. And they're all building out at those megawatt scale now.
Now, Tunde, tell me, with how important data centers are, what would be the worst case scenario if there is a downtime?
Typically, the computers stop working. And could you imagine if the impact on the bank, if the data center goes down, all of the communications go down, all of those apps go down, you can't interact with the bank, the situation will be very, very critical indeed. Everything just stops. The connectivity stops. Customers cannot transact with the bank. And it's like, actually, you could also have serious fraud if a bank has to go to manual operations. Imagine if your email somewhere goes down and you can't use email anymore. A telco data center goes down, suddenly the phones don't work. And, the impact on businesses, on lives, on individuals can be significant indeed. That's why there's fundamental infrastructure that keeps our digital lives going.
Now, talking about impact, do we have clear policies and procedures, for how such data infrastructures should be managed?
Yes, it is. It's like, most critical aspects of infrastructure or other things. You have to have key procedures. You have to get yourself certified to the right standard. Those certifications give comfort that there are minimum standards in terms of how those data centers run. The uptime, for instance, I've talked about the criticality of not having downtime. So the uptime certifications matter. The international standard certifications for information security management and business continuity and so on. All these matters. They do matter. If you don't have the right operational processes, of course, human error comes in, and a significant amount of downtime can be caused by human error. So you need very, very highly qualified individuals with very clear processes and controls to make sure that you maintain reliability and uptime of these critical infrastructure.
Now, Tunde, earlier you mentioned that data centers are quite expensive to run. Would you say that we're investing enough in the infrastructure as a country, or do we need to do more?
We need to do, and a lot more is in process right now. It takes a good 18 months, 2 years to build a high-quality data center. So we have the large capacity data centers coming in of the right quality of construction. I've talked about what we're doing at Open Access Data Centers, or OEDC. Another scale one, a company I used to run, Rack Center on the mainland. There's other capacity from companies like Africa Data Center coming on stream as well. You see, a lot of what we use in cloud and so on are held in data centers sometimes in Europe. The more we're able to localize that data, the higher performance we have, but it has to be in the right scale and quality of construction, of operational management, for instance. So we need to invest more. As the higher scale capacity come in, you will find much more hosting of global cloud systems locally here that many companies run. You see, data centers are also critical for the digital economy. Give you an example. It typically takes around about $10 million of investment to build a 1 megawatt data center. Now, the impact on the economy is usually even up 10 or 50-fold of the capital invested. So if you were building a 10 megawatt data center, we would be investing around about $100 million. Now that brings digital infrastructure closer to the point of use, data sovereignty, and so on. However, the direct or indirect impact on the economy could be, say, 100 million could actually be around about $5 billion of economic impact in the environment where the data center is built, as well as bringing in a key digital infrastructure in place. Now, you also have, that's one, spend a lot of money to build a data center. Secondly, you now have to operate the data center. You interact with utility companies. You have maintenance companies for power, for cooling. The indirect impact on economies is significant indeed.
Now, lastly, we heard recently that the government is building a data center capable of storing up to 1.4 petabytes of data. How will this enhance the country's data management infrastructure today?
Yeah. First of all, I would suggest that we have enough very high quality private data centers in place with the right amount of connectivity that's required. It's very, very specialist, as I suggested, and a significant amount of capital to build. I would really suggest that it's better for that capital to be used in building road infrastructure, schools, hospitals, and so on that are required, and leave the data center complexity of running to the private companies who are very, very well suited to providing the significant megawatts of capacity that would be required for the amount of data that's being talked about.
Oh, well, Tunde, it definitely was a pleasure having you on the program. Ayatunde Koka, CEO of Open Access Data Centers. Thank you so much for joining us on Tech Trends.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Here's where we draw the curtain on the program this week. Thank you for watching. But as always, Tech Trends is here to share insights, trends, and developments happening in the tech space. If you missed any part of the program, you can always catch up on the Channels TV YouTube accounts where we have all of our episodes. And I encourage you to watch, share, and like your favorite editions. For Tech Trends, I'm Olayemi Odunuga. I'll see you next time.